time on a Friday night for a Big Ten battle with one of the conference powers in town to take on the Terps. Volleyball on the Big Ten Network is powered by Unleaded 88, Engine Smart, Earth Kind, number 11 Purdue, ready for its matchup tonight with Maryland. From the pavilion here in College Park, intimate, the venue for volleyball here in the Big Ten. Terps try to 88 engine for its time. You talked about the production of Eva Hudson. Chloe Chacoin can also bring it, second of this team with over 3 kills per set. In the Big Ten, Raven here from Indianapolis. Meantime, for another injury, Sydney Bryant hurt. The 4th outside hitter that's going to be down for the season. So we'll shift Samantha Schnitta tonight. She's been a right side. Wouldn't surprise you, Mac, at all.
That they're going to need, so I wouldn't be surprised everywhere on the.
Yeah, the Boilermakers 16-5, 7-3 in Big Ten play, chasing that top. Wisconsin and just big games. They've lost 6 in a row, but Big Ten foe, top 20 this game in number 11 Purdue. What it's like night in, night out. Talented team. Purdue in the dark uniforms, the white Terps at home. Off speed there early. Eber gets our first.
I love what there. She established her middle early. She set her middle in the very first play of the game. This match.
And here is Schnitta, and that handled there nicely by Ali. First contact there from Lily Libero for Maryland. Hudson going over the block, and that works. Good recognition, and what you talked about, try to make something when you're struggling to get possession.
It looks like a lot of people are trying to find ways to score in inopportune situations. There's a lot of balls coming from out of systems. We're seeing a lot of tips and off speeds.
Yeah, we're having some audio issues. Apologize to those checking in, working to get those rectified as Purdue jumps in here with the 2-1 lead. Hornung, and transfer from Providence, originally from New Albany, Indiana, serving, and that one wide. Again, continuing to play strong for this Purdue team for Dave Shondell. Said tonight, the focus in a match that on paper, Purdue should come in and be able to beat one of the bottom teams in the league, but this is a tough place to play. Said we can't give away points, and there you see Hudson when she's in rhythm.
That's what Purdue wants to see. They want to see a good first contact, because Coach Shondell said it. When they are good off their first contact, they are in system and they can score a lot of points. That's what Purdue needs to see, is a lot more offense. Their defense is gnarly. Nobody in the conference takes a guess on that, but their offense is what needs to start going.
Yeah, there's the veteran leader, 22nd season at Purdue with his group. And off hands and down for the kill for Sam Sire, one of a handful of 5th years for this Maryland team. Coach Shondell with his group. Again, last weekend, sold out Mackey Arena for the 2nd time in about a week's time, but this time, unlike the win against Indiana, Wisconsin was ready and took it to the Boilermakers in a 3-set sweep. So he's looking to see on that shot and point Maryland as the Terps jump ahead.
Raven Colvin wanted that. That was going over the net. That was bouncing at about the 3-foot line. She was swinging so sharp and so short. A little too sharp and a little too short.
That serve wide from Sydney Dowler. And another of the 5th years for the Terps. Assist leader for Maryland, but the deal for the Terps, they've gone back and forth between a 6-1 attack with a 1-setter and using 2 setters. So checking out. You saw Zoe Huang check in. Service miscue there for Purdue. And again, Adam Hughes toying with using two setters. And right now for this group, especially with the chaos with players missing, it's the best avenue for them to have success.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. You got to find ways to get players good balls, and he said Zoe Huang is doing a great job getting the ball strong to their hitters and putting them in good positions to score. So you want people on the court that are going to put your hitters in great positions to score, and that's what Zoe Huang's doing right now for the Terps.
5 apiece, 2 service errors apiece thus far, as Colvin puts it in play for Purdue. Running the middle to Alexander Roos. Good get from Hudson in the back. Another tip at the net from Purdue. Chicoine bumps it up. Huang with first contact, so the bump set there from Gunter. Katie Shearer getting the starting call, the freshman trying to deliver, and an awkward play from the back for Jonna Spawn. They'll take it.
Jonna Spawn with the overpass kill. That's so fun. Plays like that are momentum plays. Those are plays that you don't expect to happen, but when your DS gets a big kill on a diving save like that, that creates so much for your team.
Sophomore from Luke. Another from Gunter. Again, leading the Big Ten per set is Adam Hughes' team, 7th in the nation, but the air is cropping up. But they've got to be able to serve tough, especially with
serve.
And for Maryland.
So something really interesting right there. She ran a very fast tempo ball to the outside. When she's out of system like that, she's past it. But she and Schnitta being in sync, in system, and just running with it.
There's Adam Hughes, again, trying to build consistency in his tenure with the Terp. Now in season 7, point there for Purdue to get the side out. And again, he's talked about it. Again, the lineup and what they're going to try to do with Cher coming in against Sydney Bryant, the 4th outside hitter, done for the year with injury. Said it's kind of line up chaos and maybe catch Purdue a little off kilter. They only practiced it for an hour yesterday and then kind of just looked at film today, and we'll see what comes of it.
Sometimes you just got to figure it out.
Big swing, almost hit off one of the girders above on the ceiling from Chicoine. There's that power for the 5'10 sophomore.
That was quite the swing. I would have loved to see that out of system set, that second ball stay on the Terp side to give them a chance to swing. I like that it was just a little bit too tight over the net and resulted in a Purdue point.
Way thus far, 7 is already. Dowler back. And different places. Audio we're having work to rectify the problem, but Sam is a setter, or excuse me, Mac is a setter. Try to in the
starts with the first ball. If the pass is in system, that allows you to run an offense. So right now, if I'm Maryland, if I am sitting court as the setter, I am making court is so strong right now. They need to one basket, and I'll just kind of work together to get that first ball so strong.
Rohrbach with a pair of kills, and there's Schnitta, the ace leader in the nation, delivers one of her patented lefty lasers.
There it is. Sometimes a topspin serve can actually be easier to pass. The thing about Schnitta's serve is that it floats a little bit as it spins. So it's coming down so hard that it gives the passing court a really tough view of the ball.
Well, has an ace and then follows up with the service error. So 1-1 there. Side out Purdue at 10-9. But looking to continually have that pressure and put Purdue a bit on its heels. We get a second career for you as an official now?
I mean, maybe. 1-0 on the night. I won't get cocky yet.
So challenge good there for Adam Hughes. That flips the score. Retains both of his 2 challenges given out. Maryland on top 10-9. More importantly, get to ride Schnitta again. First contact there for Ryan McAleer. Not just a little. The makers do get their side out.
Loved everything about that play. Sid Dallard back shot. She knows that everybody's coming in expecting her to throw that ball straight down, so she throws it just over top. A little bit too strong though.
Adam Hughes just trying to roll. Just again with the injuries that continue to find some consistency. Now, story. 3 matches have one pushed into. Things have wet. Pearson, gifted young setter for Purdue. Fence rolling here, adding another fourth.
Really clean. Over and in.
3 for the makers. Anderson going at the net. Rohrbach just finds open space.
That's a high IQ play from Eva Hudson. Taylor Anderson set her a little bit too far off the net, so the ball drifted off behind her. Eva Hudson knew that the hit probably wasn't there. She just tipped it up and over that block.
Third of the Big Ten in kills per set, about 4.5 each set. And in scramble mode, Boilermakers can't make it happen.
Another high IQ play from another fifth-year senior. Sam Sire putting that ball right in the middle of the court in what we call the donut. Nobody's standing there. You don't set up a defense to cover the middle of the court, so it's a great place to put the ball to cause some chaos.
Second kill from Sire. Purdue hitting over 300. Under 100 for the Terps, but the block rising up. Dowler helping lead the way.
Get you a setter that can block. I love a setter that blocks. Sid Dowler's 6 feet tall, so she's pretty big up there. She's big for a setter. We've got 2 big setters out here right now, so I'd love to see some more blocks from the setters.
Adam Hughes talking about the block game for Maryland, which has been among the best in the country in recent years, but not as much this year as that one's blocked out of bounds. They've been working on some new things, and again, with the shifting personnel, it's been tough to build that confidence at times to that person right next to you.
For sure. It's tough to know who you're blocking next to when it's somebody different every other day.
14-12 Purdue. Boilermakers trying to make it 8 wins in their last 10. Schnitta soaring in, goes for the roll shot. Hudson firing that right at Schnitta. Anderson off of her. Good scramble back for Kenna Woldard. But up front, opening there, and Dowler turns and fires.
Sid Dowler didn't get it her first try. She said, let me try that again. She had the second pass that was perfect, allowed her to jump up and swing. She's a lefty, so she's able to jump up there and go attack this ball on the second contact.
And she had some nice numbers again, splitting time with Zoe Huang with 12 assists, 5 kills, 4 aces, 3 blocks against Washington in that tough 4-set loss. And there's Hudson again. There have been a bevy of 3 balls floating here and a lot of players in put-away mode like Hudson. Already the 5th kill for one of the top point getters in the Big Ten, and it's Purdue by a pair on the road in set 1. Here at Maryland, 2-point edge for the Boilermakers in the first set of the best of 5. Jason Knapp, Mac Pedraza, glad to have you with us. On the outside, trying to find some hands, and they are there.
There's that true freshman, Katie Shearer, off the bench, filling in for Sydney Bryant. She did a great job there, reaching up high and tooling out the hands.
Adam Hughes talking about Shearer, said she came in, did some great things, tail end in the non-conference season against UCF. So experience, but looking to see what she can get done now in the heart of Big Ten play. Chacoin able to counter with a nice cross-court shot.
That's one of Chacoin's money shots. She's so good at sneaking a ball past such a solid block.
And trying to bounce back from hitting in the negative against Wisconsin. Dave Shondell hoping to see if she can get back on track tonight. And that's squeezed through from Shearer. Again, 6'2", freshman, St. Charles, Illinois. And again, trying to deliver now, knowing that she's going to be maybe a fixture here the rest of the way.
She might be a freshman and she hasn't seen a ton of playing time this season, but she comes from a really prestigious club, First Alliance, out of the suburbs of Chicago. So she has the training and she's just got to trust it and go for it.
Waller setting up, going cross court, talking about players continuing to improve and grow. Again, came in as a left side, and then with Hudson and Chicoine there, moved to the right side. Dave Shondell really liking her progress. Wong back in setting, goes to Scherer, and the freshman got it going on right now.
There she goes. That's a power swing between a really solid block. Purdue is a fantastic blocking team. They're the best in the conference. So for a freshman to go up there, just swing away, sneak it through the hole there, that's a really good swing by her.
And again, someone that hasn't played a ton. Purdue trying to figure out their assignments here with Maryland forced to shift some personnel due to injury. Schnitta into the double block, trying to keep it alive. Played over by Allie Williams. Purdue on the free ball, and Williams lays out to deny Lourdes Myers, and now Maryland with a put away. The Terps looking feisty here.
For sure. I think it's one of those situations where sometimes when you have so much adversity on your team, on your side, injuries, things are happening, that you just kind of come together all as one and you say, there's nothing we can do about this, and you move on as one. And that's what the Terps look like they're doing right now.
10th tie, and 5 lead changes here between these teams as well. The put away for Chicoine with the left hand, and she'll stride back to serve.
Chloe Chicoine sees the block really well. Right there, Sid Dowler pulled her hands off the block a little bit, and Chloe Chicoine saw that and just pressed that ball straight through. She was so much stronger.
3 kills on 6 swings, 3 digs already for Chicoine. Dowler going back set, Rohrbach. Now Dowler to the other side, and Schnitta tooling the block.
Being a lefty on the outside of the court is a really hard place to be. The ball has to actually cross your entire body before you get the chance to swing it. So as a hitter, it's very difficult, but then as a blocker too. Purdue's right front blocker has to block her left arm instead of what she's used to with a right arm on a right-handed player.
Hudson, speaking of right arms on right-handed players, rhythm right there. Hey, let's talk about that adjustment for both setter, and now you've got 2 setters on Maryland and a lefty that's moving from right to left. Everybody's got to have a little give and take there, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of room for error in that, but Maryland right now looks like they're kind of just going for it. It's one of those times where you just got to say, things might not be perfect. Let's all have a bunch of grace with each other and just figure it out as we go. And that's quite frankly what it looks like they're doing. A lot of communicating and a lot of learning on the fly.
There are a lot of veterans on this team and high expectation coming in with a bunch of 5th years like Sire and Schnitta and Russ and Dowler, Gunter. And again, kind of struggling with some injuries and then trying to find success here in the Big Ten. So the second half of this year, they're looking to find some signature wins and kind of finish off their careers with a bang. Maybe tonight at home against Purdue. And that's going to be an ace. Maryland opted to let it go, and it does find the sideline there from Taylor Anderson.
Taylor Anderson with a smile there. I don't think she expected that one to land quite like that.
Ooh.
It's really impressive. Dave Shondell is one of the best in the country. I mean, he's a really great coach. He knows volleyball. He knows how to recruit, and he knows how to take care of his girls. He's got a good program, and he's doing a great job running it. State
Farm, state of success. Who's going to have more success down the stretch here in set 1? Sire going to the back. Chicoine keeps it up. Hudson, footwork involved for Purdue to stay in the point. Another diving effort, that one from Anderson. Williams lays out, but an overpass in the block, and Maryland wins a thrilling point. Wow.
Maryland block, there it is. I mean, we've been talking about it, and we talked to Coach Hughes about the blocking. You know, it had to take a little bit of a backseat to figure out their offense, to figure out their passing, but I mean, that block looks pretty solid right now. Sam Sire pressing in towards the middle of the court, not giving the hitter the option to tool off her hands.
And Anastasia, Russ, who's been so good, one of the best blockers in the country, limited by an ankle issue early in conference play. Adam Hughes says she's fully healthy. That's certainly helping the cause. But when you're in crunch time, you go to your go-to performer in Hudson delivering. Kill number 7 of the opening set. Hudson hitting 400 as Purdue tries to hang on here in the opener. Huang running the middle. That's electric to Russ.
That's what Coach Hughes talked about. That's why Zoe Huang is on the court, because she has such a strong connection with the middles. That consistency that she creates, giving the middles the chance to score in a seam like that, that's hard to do. That's why she's on the court out there.
Lightning quick run of the middle. Now they go to the middle, do the Boilermakers for Colvin. Good stretch there from Scherer to keep it in. Hudson out of the back row. Nice effort from the Terps to keep it alive, including the play from Gunter. Chicoine denied. Chicoine cross court. Schnitta, roll shot. Bumped up from Hornung. And there's the put away for Purdue. What an effort for the Boilermakers to survive that point.
Both sides, great hustle, but ultimately the ability to put that ball in a place where Taylor Anderson can run her middle, that is what is going to allow Purdue to score a lot of points.
Colvin with her first kill of the opening set, and it's a monster. Gives Purdue a little breathing room here. 23-21. Final stages, set 1 coming up.
Okay, trainees, let's work on our fast and friendly claim service.
Eyes on the phone now.
Look alive, Drew.
Your repairs have been scheduled.
Nice.
Yes, you'll get a rental car on site.
Heads up. Oh, I'm gonna turn this down to an 8. My bad.
We can do this all day. Geico claim service is 24/7. Nice catch.
Your claim has been approved. Your claim has been approved.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
If you know luxury, it's not just award-winning, it's rewarding. Saatva Mattresses supports all types of sleepers. Luxury is handcrafted and assembled in American factories and brought directly to you with our complimentary in-home delivery and setup service, which is why over 90% of customers would recommend Saatva to friends and family. Saatva, luxury mattresses made affordable.
Eva Hudson, second team All-American last season and continuing to perform at an elite level.
She bangs the ball. She knows how to go up and bounce the ball on the floor. She's such a talented hitter from just about anywhere, but she's so good from the left side, seeing the block that's in front of her.
And hurt her shoulder in the offseason, training and playing with USA Volleyball. Eve Shondell just said she didn't have that normal pop at the start of the season, but it's back now. And how about a massive serve out of the timeout there for Raven Colvin to give Purdue a set point. Hudson's carried the load, and now Colvin been big here, tail end of the set with a kill, an ace. And now Schnitta able to find a little seam and put that away to keep Maryland alive.
That is one part of the lefty on the outside. If I'm Purdue's block, I'm expecting more balls down the line because the ball has to cross her shoulder, cross her entire body. That line swing is a little bit more natural for a lefty on the outside.
Fourth kill opening set plus the 2 aces for Schnitta. And now we're going to have a review challenge here. The officials' mic not working, so we'll see what Purdue wants to take a peek at here.
I don't have a guess on what they could be challenging.
See if we get an explanation on the back end. And it'll give Purdue a little chance to regroup too here. the tail end. Here's another look.
I think potentially we could be looking at the net on her follow through there. The follow through of Sam Schnitta.
Tough to see with the screen there from Wahlert of Purdue. Here's another look from the far side.
The officials have other angles too that they can look at to figure this play. It looks like it's going to stand. They didn't find anything.
Yep. So the challenge lost. Purdue down to a single challenge right now. And we go to a fifth. Each team would get an additional challenge. And second chance for the Boilermakers to close the set. Serve from Gunter. Scher with a nice read to get that off speed ball. Now the block from Purdue out of bounds.
It looks like there was a little bit of a miscommunication there between Chloe Chicoine and Taylor Anderson. She came inside and the set went a little too far, so she had to put that tip in that spot, and it almost gave Maryland a free ball there.
The Schnitta able to execute and use the block for her fifth put away of the opening set. Timeout for the Boilermakers and Maryland right here. And this is where Adam Hughes' team needs to get better. These moments of the set, talked about it earlier this year in the red zone, so to speak. Down one, tied or up one. They have not executed well. And again, last three matches, at least one set's been pushed into extra points, and Maryland's lost all three of those. What becomes impressive at this stretch?
This is where you need to get really disciplined with your contacts. If you can start winning some of those games that go into what we call extra innings, extra points of volleyball, if you can win matches 28-30, 26-28, stuff like that, that's where you show your maturity. And I mean, this Maryland team has so many fifth-year seniors on their court. You would think that their maturity, their experience would come out to play in those moments.
(24-23), Maryland trying to fight off another set point. And Schnitta, 5 kills, averaging about 3.5 per set. Gunter puts it in the air. Anderson going to Chicoine, and she's able to finish effectively off the block. Rising strong in Purdue, getting in their 6th conference foe, ranked in the top 20 in their first 11 Big Ten matches. Set number 2 underway. Schnitta ready to roll, and another good effort to get down for Hornung. Williams, nice dig, but into the block it goes. Lourdes Myers in the right spot.
A little coaching tip of my cap to Dave there. He did a great job coaching his team up. Sid Dowler tried to score twice last set. He told his team, let's put a big block up in front of her next time she tries to jump up and score like that, and they did exactly that.
Ready for the setter calling her own number. Purdue doubles the lead. We'll see how the Terps respond here, again, giving Purdue all it can handle. Adam Hughes talking about not finishing sets, need to do it. We start doing it, maybe that bleeds over, but how do they respond after being right there? Can they come back and take a set? Again, took one off of Washington last weekend, and they took the opening set on the road against third-ranked Penn State. Sire off hands. Anderson tracking all the way back to get it. Back set there down the line. Rohrbach able to put it away.
It's a really good line swing by Rohrbach. She's running the slide really well and is really clean on that. She does a great job of seeing the ball, chasing it a little bit. She stays behind it and then waits to catch up to it, which is a huge key on the slide. And
Adam Hughes has talked about her kind of embracing the idea she has to be a point scorer, even more so. Again, with another outside down for the year against Sydney Dowler. Just kind of a freak thing, coach told us in practice, non-contact, but it is a torn knee ligament and a 4th outside gone for the year. Rohrbach trying to get to that, but too much power in point Boilermakers.
That's Eva Hudson's bread and butter, that cross-court shot, and if she's got a middle playing defense and left back there, it's usually going to go to Eva Hudson.
for the first 5 in set 2 to the Boilermakers. Sire thrusting that forward. And now trying to joust that one down. Dowler going to Schnitta, flying in out of the back row. Sire can't track that. And another point, Purdue.
That's a smart shot into the middle of the court. Another place where we talk about we don't set up a defense in volleyball to defend the middle of the court a lot of times. So it's a really good place to put the ball.
And Hudson continuing to pile up kills. Schnitta coming in. How about Chacoin with a nice play in the back. Maryland, though, does get that much-needed side out.
In that rotation, Anastasia Rush doesn't run behind a lot. She's not going to be on the slide very often, so they really utilize Sam Schnitta out of the right back zone. I think we'll see a lot of that, especially in that rotation.
Good Schnitta serve, got Purdue a little off kilter, and then Maryland kind of in scramble mode. And the Terps kind of waste the opportunity with the ace leader in the nation.
For sure, that's a ball you got to take care of right there. That's an easy ball that you got to just kind of throw high up in the middle.
Dave Shondel's team in top 10 of the nation in blocks, number 1 of the Big Ten in digs. Swing from Sire. Chacoin. How about Scherer putting it in the air? And now she'll look to finish. Hudson in the back. Russ reading that and getting the point for the Terps.
I think Russ's feet were on the ground when she played that ball over. She is 6'5", so she is a threat up at the net. You can't just tip a ball into her hands like that because she's going to throw it right back down at you.
She is long. Grad student from Pittsburgh, started her career with the Panthers. And now up front again, using that length.
There she is, all 6'5". That has been her strength for her entire career. I think that injury early in season that Coach Hughes talked about kind of took away from some of that, but it looks like she's back at it right now.
Yeah, 2 years ago was number 1 in the nation in total blocks, second team all Big Ten. And again, that's one of the pieces that Maryland's been able to hang its hat on the last couple of years that just hasn't been as good. And those margins are slim, especially here in this conference.
For sure.
7-4 Purdue. Serve coming from Colvin. And that one just a little long.
Man, Raven Colvin's got a bullet on her serve. That serve a lot of times goes and drops last second. That one just took a little bit lift at the end there, but usually that drops off, and that's a hard ball to pass.
Ask Minnesota. She had 7 aces in the 5-set match against the Gophers. 17 as a team in that one for the Boilermakers. And now the Terps trying to see if they can reel in Purdue here. 8-5. McAleer back to serve. And a little short. Rohrbach, first contact. Down the line. Sire can't keep it in. Or excuse me, Scherer can't keep it in.
I like that play. Everything about that looked good. Just got to find the line there.
And the freshman, 3 kills, and the first error. Jonna Spawn tracking back to get it. Boilermakers, though, with a free ball. Another good get from Spawn. How about Hornung? On the overpass, it's Rohrbach finishing.
That was a great job by Rohrbach to jump up and go get that ball. Balls that come over on the overpass can almost be so intimidating that it feels like it should be a give me every single time, but you'd be surprised how many players either hit that into the net or hit it out of bounds.
Able to find the right angle to put it down. How about that? What recognition from Chacoin. 5'10" says, you know, I can't always power it every time. I got to find spaces. You can see the thought process there.
For sure. Even as a club player, Chloe Chacoin has always been a high flyer. She jumps up really high, but she still is only 5'10". And in the Big Ten, you got to be able to use high hands if you're 5'10".
And third team All-America last year. Anderson going to the outside to Hudson, and in perfect rhythm. And Taylor Anderson continuing to grow as Purdue has its largest lead here at 5. Dave Shondell talking about that. You were asking him about it. Taylor Anderson, starting setter for the 11th ranked team in the country in the heart of the Big Ten. Not bad for a former middle and right side hitter.
Yeah, she played middle and right side until she was 16 years old. So that's a really late time to switch to be a setter of all things. There's a lot of mental game that goes into being a setter. And Coach Shondell talked about how she's developed so much over the last 2 years. And just to be able to see her kind of grow and become the player that she is. She's not the loudest one on the court, but you know what? She's going to give to her teammates in so many other ways.
He talks earlier this year about her, like if something went wrong last year, she kind of wore it, like kind of my fault. But now, again, especially with the experience around her, kind of coming into her own. Maryland trying to get back into it out of the timeout. Schnitter with the put away in the first point. Now Sire going down the line. And how about just the awareness there of Myers, but called for a lift. So there's a big swing, potential side out for the Boilermakers.
That is something that in NCAA volleyball they're trying to crack down a little bit more on, is that lift call on the power tip or power throw. It looks different from everybody, and they're trying to crack down on it.
Go right back to Myers. Good get from Gunter. McAleer in the back, bringing it up for Purdue. Hudson Williams has had a number of plays from the deck. Hudson goes off speed. Schnitter diving down. And how about Sire, cross-court winner?
That's the maturity that Adam Hughes wants to see from his team. To be able to stay in a rally long like that against the number 11 team in the nation, and to be able to find a way to score like that, that's the maturity that Coach Hughes wants to see. And that's Maryland kind of coming out of their shell and using it.
He was great tonight. Again, they practiced this lineup again with the latest injury for an hour yesterday. He kind of said, well, we're going to find out tonight. And sometimes as a coach and a team, when you're kind of thrown in the cauldron together, you see what you're made of.
Right. You just got to wing it and see what happens. Sometimes those are the best times.
Now this team is having fun here at home against one of the best in the conference. Schnitter. Myers tried to disrupt that. Sire into the block. Another good get from Schnitter. How about that craftiness from Dowler to play it over? Now she'll go back set. Rohrbach. And that is out of bounds. Hornung had the contact, but it floats wide.
I'm having a hard time staying in my seat here. This is some really good volleyball. I really like Sid Dowler's use of that throw over the net. Sometimes you just got to make it work and just do what you got to do. But I love her run of Rohrbach on the slide that close. Sometimes when you're that close together and that angle that she had to run the slide, it's kind of hard to create the situation you want. They did a great job. Their connection was there, and they ran that really well. Adam Hughes says he uses his timeouts now as run stoppers. It's worked out of the timeout. 5 points in a row to tie it. Shakes out. There you see the standings. Penn State with its win on Wednesday night at home, staying unbeaten. Nebraska trying to stay there, and Wisconsin just with a 1 conference loss thus far. Well, here Purdue coming in at 16-5, 7-3 in the Big Ten. All 5 losses for the Boilermakers are to teams right now currently ranked in the top 8 in the nation. Dave Shondell's team's been really, really good, but can they find a way to kind of elevate themselves among that elite 8? This is the time to do it. November volleyball starts the push towards playoffs. You got to fight through it. You got to figure out what's going to set you apart and what's going to put you into the top 8.
How about that? Swerve there from Dowler, and now Sire with the smarts. Left-handed shot, and Maryland with its first lead since 10-9 of the opening set.
That's innovation right there. Sam Sire with the left hand. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You see the ball, and that's what's there. She even had her shoulder up like she was going to hit it.
Hudson denied by the block, then goes over top of it. Sire and shut down. How about Williams flying around again? And now Sire finds the net.
Half the battle with the block sometimes is just getting a touch. In volleyball, we think about the block as if you get a stuff block, that's a bonus. Like, that's great. You're just going to score points that way. But the block's job is to take away a zone, take away an area. So if a block can get touches or set up opportunities for the defense to get points, that's what you're going to see a lot of points and a lot of runs happen. And I think that's what Maryland is doing a really good job of right now, is setting up opportunities for their defense to make plays behind them.
14-13, again, another back and forth affair, a little more separation than we had in set number 1 here with a 5-point advantage for Purdue. Schnitta, the first contact from Chacoin. Hudson, Russ trying to influence that up front. Sire into the block of Colvin. Anderson running a quick middle, and Colvin finds a way through.
Anderson really runs that middle quick. It's hard for the block to get there if she's set up in the middle. Anastasia Russ is set up right in the center of the court. So for her to get into that gap zone where Raven Colvin's hitting a lot of balls, it's really tough to get there.
Second kill for Colvin against 2 errors. And Purdue with a 3-point run after Maryland took a short-lived lead. Anderson. Williams right on the money for Dowler. Dowler going to Sire, off speed. Good scramble there to keep it alive from Anderson, and now thumped long there for the Terps.
A little bit of a setter hitter.
6 kills, 3 aces, 6 digs. And again, 22 attacks. She and Sire getting the most swings thus far. And again, flipped from right side to the outside. Again, filling in for Sydney Bryant, down for the year now with a knee injury. Russ playing it again. Free ball, Purdue. In the middle, woo! Colvin with some steam coming off that one.
That's what happens when you send a free ball to Purdue. They're going to come right back at you with a lot of heat. Like clockwork right there.
Williams taking the brunt of the full force of Raven Colvin. Off Anderson's serve. Schnitta out of the back row. And going right back to the moneymaker in the middle, Raven Colvin.
Raven Colvin started a little bit slow offensively, but she's really coming into the game here. I think that has a lot to do with the passing. Purdue can pass well and keep that ball high in the middle of the court. They're going to be able to get Raven Colvin her points.
Now that run's continued out of the timeout, make it 6 straight points here for the Boilermakers. And the block out of bounds. Sire able to stop the Purdue run.
It's a smart swing by her to try and tool that block. That's a really big block in front of you. Purdue does a pretty good job of pressing over into zone 6. But she did a good job going up there and kind of trying to work it off the edge of the block.
Sire second of this team in kills this year. Top 10 all time in kills for the Terps. Dowler. And Sire able to push that into a good spot.
That's a good put. Right in the middle of the court. There's not a lot of people there. I sound like a broken record, but the donut, a lot of points are scored there. And if you don't score a point, a lot of times it causes chaos.
Half dozen kills for Sire, leading the way along with Schnitta for the Terps. And now Hudson, quiet for a moment, but that is her 11th put away of the night, hitting over 300.
That's what we call OT right there. Eva Hudson hit over top of that block.
Junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Third best put away performer in the conference. And one more time to the outside. There's Lizzie Carr, 6'6", redshirt sophomore, coming on strong.
Coach Shondell talks about that he has no hesitation to throw her in if they decide that they need to. And there she was with no block, bouncing a ball.
Hudson with the service error. Carr out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, so not too far of the drive down from the Philly area here to College Park. Certainly going to be getting some Boilermaker love from friends and family. Again, you asked her, what do you like better, middle or right side today? What'd she say?
I was just curious, and she had a great answer. She's like, wherever the team needs me. I'm happy wherever. I love to play both, so whatever the team needs me to do, I'm good to go.
Well, right now, front and center. Can't finish that. Huang back in, setting for Maryland. Colvin, Huang racing over, trying to find Scherer, and the freshman with another impressive put-away.
Zoe Huang did a really great job there. She called that ball so loud so that her libero knew to get out of the way. Zoe Huang was there. She was ready to take it. Her libero was looking up at the ball, so couldn't tell she was there. But she called her off and was able to give the best ball.
And now over the top of the block on the tip. In fact, there for the Terps. And Purdue ends that mini Maryland run, 21-17. Raven Colvin off the setup from Anderson, 24 assists now for the Purdue sophomore, and Dave Shondell's team trying to go up 2 sets to none. Played over by Gunter on the free ball to the outside. Huang able to keep it alive. And Scherer using the block. How about the freshman? 5 kills, 1 error on 9 swings thus far for the Terps, getting thrust into the starting lineup.
No, it's like we talked about. Sometimes when you just throw what you got on the court, you make it work, and that's what the freshman's doing right now. She's got a lot of experience around her. She's using that. I'm sure there being a lot of help out there, and you're playing the number 11 team in the country. Sometimes you just got to go do it.
That goes through the block solo-wise of Rohrbach up the front. Myers and the Boilermakers trying to put this second set to bed. And Purdue looking to bounce back after getting swept at Mackey Arena in front of that big crowd by Wisconsin. Cross-court Chicoine out.
That was a really nice set by Taylor Anderson. She was a little bit off balance, and the tendency of a setter when you're off balance is to finish with your hands across your body, and then the ball drifts off the net. So on that ball, she leaned into it, but she still kept her hands really solid and finished straight along the net. So the ball was on a straight line, and it gave Chicoine the opportunity to swing.
This time Anderson on the slide there to Myers. Hudson tries to play it towards the back corner. Dowler looking for Schnitte, who has to make the adjustment. And that one off Schnitte's body and out. The block had a lot of time to get into space on that high arching ball.
Oh yeah, the block had a ton of time to set up, and something that I've noticed about Purdue's block is they've shifted out a little bit on that lefty on the outside. So like we talked about, the lefty's tendency would be to hit the line, and on that ball she wanted to go down the line, but Taylor Anderson was there sealing that line and gave her no option.
And Anderson, strong blocker as a setter, close to 1%. Maryland's done a great job scrambling to keep some points alive, and now Anderson, great recognition and the put away.
Such good recognition by Anderson. That's a high IQ play. That's a very veteran play right there. She saw her blockers move. Her blockers took a step in opposite directions. She knew she had that straight down shot. They've been trying to get her to be a little bit more offensive, and I think she's doing a great job of it so far this season.
Set point Boilermakers. Rohrbach denies the opportunity for Purdue to finish it right there.
Sid Dowler's been trying to get that going. She keeps running it, keeps running it, keeps running it. One of those times it's going to score. It's a really fast set. Sid Dowler doesn't keep the ball in her hands for very long. She kind of just redirects it really fast. So Rohrbach has to get on top of it really quickly.
Team high 7 kills for Rohrbach, hitting 500. Here's Maryland's dream scenario with Schnitte serving, but instead off the tape, Boilermakers a chance to get it into system, and Myers mashes it down. And thus far, one thing we haven't seen a ton of, team averaging 2.8 blocks per set, just with 2 blocks on the night. But they have got the 2 sets to their advantage thus far as we're underway in set 3. There's communication there. Played over. And no miscommunication on the outside. That is a big finish there for Myers.
Lourdes Myers has really become one of the best middles in the country. She's doing a really great job right now running that slide behind. That's what her team needs her to do, and she's doing a great job making it happen.
And she had 5 kills, 5 blocks against Wisconsin. Now we've got a challenge here from Adam Hughes.
Purdue. Maryland is challenging a net on the first attack.
So we'll go back to the review. Adam Hughes won his earlier challenge, and Kepitz is still with 2 at his disposal. Dave Shondell lost his first challenge, so he's only got 1 in his pocket for now. So the officials will go through this process. Here's another look.
After review, there was no net on the first attack. Maryland will lose their challenge.
And maybe trying to find it there from Hudson, but she didn't look to be even in the vicinity. So the call stands. Adam Hughes like, yeah, wow, okay. That's something else to keep in the book. A lot like his mentor, Russ Rose. And Hughes has development at Penn State, and he coming here as an assistant, taking over. Steve Hare left for Indiana, and continuing to lead this Terrapin program. Back to Schnitta. Can she go on another run? In 3 aces thus far, and that one pumped well long.
That's an error that the Terps can't afford right now. Having Schnitta on the back line is when they need to take care of it. They need to get some points back there, and it's a lot of pressure on her, but she's got to do it. She's done it before.
And one of the reasons this group leads the Big Ten in aces per set. That one just wide on the cross-court swing. Sire doesn't agree. And we'll see if Coach Hughes goes back to the challenge. He will. Sire's like, that was in all the way.
I would argue that hit the corner. I think that hit the line.
Sire seems confident, and Adam Hughes.
The call on the court is ball out. Maryland is challenging. There was a touch on the block.
Okay. So they want to see if there was contact on the touch.
I don't think I'm seeing much touch there. Where I ask some questions is whether or not this ball hit that corner, hit that line. But if he's challenging the net touch.
One more look to see if there's contact here. Doesn't appear to be.
I think she hit that right over top of it.
And they're asking about the touch, and there doesn't seem to be one. We'll see what the official call is. Adam Hughes waiting again.
Personally, I think that's tough to tell. It doesn't look like it hits anybody at the net. There's a potential that it hit the back end line, but
after review, the ruling on the court stands. Maryland will lose their challenge.
And again, they challenged the touch, and there is no touch. So that's another failed challenge from Maryland. So out of both of them now, again, if we go to a 5th, Adam Hughes would get another challenge back.
sometimes you have to go for it, though. Your team is saying it. You got to trust them, and that's what Coach Hughes did there.
So 3-1, and that does ice the server maybe. Ali Hornung knocks it into the net.
Both of their challenges that they've lost, and they thought that they were very passionately going to win. A missed serve followed both of those challenges. Just something to put out there.
7 serve errors against 3 aces for Purdue. 6 serve errors against the 3 aces for Maryland, all courtesy of Schnitter, who has the big swing there with the left hand from the back. Williams pops it up. Dowler trying to find Sire. No worries about a touch or in or out there. That was pounded down.
That was kept alive by Rohrbach in the back row, playing some middle defense back there. You love to see it. But what a great set by Sid Dowler right there. She caused the middle to jump, ended up with a one-on-one on the outside.
7th kill for Sire. 3 apiece here in set 3. Hudson down the line. 11 kills for her, getting 294 through the first couple of sets, and now delivers one here early in the 3rd. Amazing with all of her offense. Again, about 4.5 kills per set. Coach Shondell thinks the offense can still even get better. And that's the whole process for Purdue right now, trying to continue to get better in the second half of the season. He said he saw great growth after that loss to Penn State in the conference opener. They've responded. Now we'll see what kind of growth they get after the disappointing sweep at the hands of Wisconsin at home. But the one thing you can't take away, the crowd in Mackey. How about that? Twice for the Indiana match and Wisconsin. A new Big Ten regular season record, about 15,000 for both of those. It was awesome.
I've played in Holloway. Holloway is a tough place to play. Everyone said that Mackey game was incredible, and Coach Shondell said it. If you've never been to a sporting event in Mackey, you got to go. So I think I might have to make a trip.
And now, as you see Russ come down the middle, it's going to be a little bit of an interesting dilemma. They're really good at home at Holloway Gym, but it only seats about 2,500. Now you're providing opportunity. The 2 matches there sold out in 2 weeks. And now, what do you think about next year? Do you do more? How many more? And trying to do that again, it's a nice problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, not just for Purdue and the Boilermakers, but for volleyball in general. Dave Shondell, we asked him about this match. Did you expect it? Did you see it coming? He was like, yeah, I thought this would happen. He knew that volleyball was going in this direction. And there's a lot of people that have been pushing to make this happen. And he knew that the game in Mackey would be successful. He didn't know it would be as successful as it was, but wow, they did it well.
Schnitter pops it off the block to get Maryland even at 6 apiece. He was interesting. He said, hey, we're really good in Holloway, but you know what? The more we play in Mackey, the better we might be in there. And he just said, the noise, because he couldn't believe the noise factor.
And that's coming from a coach that coaches in Holloway. Holloway is so loud. It asks so many Big Ten players. They'll all tell you it's one of the toughest places to play in the Big Ten.
4th tie already of this set. Chicoine goes down the line. And one of the places that Holloway's kind of like, as far as intimate venues, this place can be a challenge, as the Boilermakers are finding tonight. Smallest gym in the conference, but man, even when it's not all the way full, it's loud. And Maryland usually rides that advantage to play really well here in this building. Schnitter down the line. Huang in the back. Anderson on the slide. Myers with another termination.
Great job spreading her offense out. The play before, she set Chloe Chicoine and she held onto that ball for half a second and she was able to get her hitter one-on-one. And then this next play, she sees that she's got a balanced block and she just tosses it right back to Lourdes Myers on that slide.
31 assists now for Anderson. Her team hitting over 300. See the service error and the side out. Again, that's been one problematic stat for the Boilermakers tonight. 9 service miscues.
That's what Coach Shondell said. He wants his team to be able to beat Maryland. They're not going to beat themselves. So Purdue needs to put the ball in play and allow themselves to go beat Maryland. They can't just expect Maryland to do it.
The Williams, they weren't ready to play, so had to pull the string on that, and now we'll go again. Last time went short. This one going after McAleer on the far side. And that one finds the floor.
Sam Sire is playing fearless right now. She is going after it. She's seeing shots. She's looking at the court and just going for it. That's something that I don't think we've seen a ton of from her this season, but right now she's seeing what she sees and she's going for it.
Kill number 8 for Sire. And the serve thumped a little long from Williams.
Both teams could stand to have a few less missed serves.
Yeah, both here in this environment trying to do what they can. Maryland trying to break a 6-game funk, and Purdue trying to get back on track. How about that haymaker from the left arm of Samantha Schnitter?
The tempo of that set is what stands out to me right there. The pass was perfect. So Sid Dowler had every option she could ever imagine, but her ability to run that tempo that fast, the lefty on the outside, that's a tough ball to make happen.
And another big cut with that left arm, and just a little mistimed and long.
The thing about Schnitter's serve is that it's high risk, high reward. She's gonna get a lot of aces. We've seen that so far, but there's a lot of times she's gonna miss a lot of serves because she really is going after it.
In 3-3 tonight, Adam Hughes talked about she's kind of 1 for 1. They'll take it because she can put teams out of system so often.
I am loving the tempo of Maryland's slide right now. The more Dowler and Rohrbach get to work together, I think they could really keep this slide going. It's really fast right now.
10 apiece. Anderson, speaking of slides, Colvin had to stretch out for that and thumps it down.
Raven Colvin's ability to run in front and behind is unmatched. She is one of the best middles in the country because of that. Her defensive numbers are where she stands out. She's such an impressive blocker, but her offense is really rolling.
Coach Shondell was talking about last year they really couldn't do a lot behind the setter. Now they're being able to do whatever they want in a lot of spaces. Hudson. Gunter, good work to keep that going. And powered down by Lizzie Carr. Checking back in and impactful.
Double the players on the right side there. I played against him last year. I remember playing Purdue last season, and he's right. You were able to kind of just release to the outsides because Chloe Chacoin and Eva Hudson were going to get most of the balls. But now they've got the middles that can run behind. They've got Carr coming in there, and Wallard's doing a great job. So they've got a lot of options, and there's a lot more depth on that half of the court.
If you have a weakness, especially in this conference, they will find it and exploit.
Oh, 100%. You can't afford to have a big weakness in this conference.
12-11. And Maryland just right tracking with the Boilermakers here. Storyline just like the first 2 sets. Can the Terps kind of mash the gas here and try to get a little separation themselves? 12 apiece. Tough first contact for Hudson. Now she'll play it over. Opportunity Terps. And how about the big swinging freshman, Scherer?
Scherer with some power from the right side. She hasn't spent a ton of time on the right side. She's done them both. She's played opposite and she's played outside. She's listed as a pin hitter on their roster. Coach Hughes said she can kind of do whatever, and that's what they were going to plan to do tonight, is spread it out and see who fits where, and she's doing exactly that.
Now the Terps, with their first lead of the set, short-lived. Hudson with no block and no chance.
Wow. I have to give all the credit there to the setter. She held that ball just long enough. Lizzie Carr and Taylor Anderson made everybody in the gym think they were going to get the ball and gave Eva Hudson the opportunity to just go absolutely bounce that ball.
1 on none, not a good proposition with number 17 in black and gold standing there. Wong going for Scherer. And Scherer has been terrific. 6 kills on 10 swings and 1 error, hitting .500. And the freshman had to stretch out for that. Rachel Williams with a touch in the back for the Boilermakers. And now she'll get ready to serve for Purdue. 14-13 advantage for the visitors, trying to see if they can get a sweep and notch their 8th Big Ten win of the season. And the redshirt freshman will come in to serve, especially with some of the serving issues getting an opportunity. Carr off the block.
Maturity that Coach Hughes wants to see from his team.
And again, the freshman has kept firing away. Scherer with her 7th kick. Colvin coming down the line and score.
Colvin is so high above the block. She just sees so well, and she can back
there. Now the Terps have been there here throughout the night. The Purdue able to hold on for a couple of key set victories early. And the Terps trying to change the tenor of the match here to see if they can steal set 3 and stay alive.
The Terps are hanging in there with the number 11 team in the country with a lineup they're not really comfortable with.
Again, lost 6 straight. And again, against some rugged customers. Didn't have a lot of set winning success, but pushing people along the way. Got one against Washington, served well. On their road trip against the Ducks and Washington. And 5 of the last 6 on the road for Maryland. Now hoping to use this home cooking to their advantage, see if they can come all the way back. Big swing. That one off the body of McAleer, and Purdue can't keep it alive. And we have our 12th tie of this 3rd set.
These teams are really battling back and forth. Rohrbach is really good behind. She did a really great job getting behind off of 1 foot. Even with 3 hitters up there in that last rotation, she still ran off of 1 foot.
Purdue hitting at 391 in this set, 286 for the Terps, and smarts from Anderson to call her own number.
Anderson's really been trying to incorporate herself in the offense a little bit more. It adds another level of difficulty for not just the blockers on the other side, but the defense as well, as we've seen.
3rd kill along with 36 assists, 6 digs, and ace as well for Anderson. And now call at the net on Purdue.
Looks like Lourdes Myers just got a little bit too aggressive up there at the block. She was really reaching for that ball. Dowler's set drifted off the net a little bit, and it caused Lourdes Myers to reach a little bit too hard and ended up in the net.
Terps will take it back to Schnitta.
Sam Schnitta foot touched the end line when she served right there. She went a little bit too hard for it.
And the shame is, it was a wicked serve, may have had Purdue a little off kilter.
Gnarly serve right there.
But it is foot fault and the point to Purdue. Hudson able to use the block. And from our vantage point, it's great to look at the route taken by Eva Hudson to finish some of these shots.
Oh yeah, you can watch her go from inside out of the court, and she almost always, her favorite shot, her power shot where she has the most strength is that angle, and she just beats these blocks every single time.
Cool to watch. Kill number 14 for Hudson. That one Williams able to track down. Anderson for Colvin, and there's the Maryland block.
That was a really smart play. The tip led Eva Hudson all the way over on the right side of the court. So there was nobody on the outside to hit the ball. Everybody in the gym knew that this ball was going to be on the right side of the court. So then when Anderson set her middle straight up and down right there, it was easy for Sam Sire to just jump straight up and reach over and grab it. Sire
there in shutdown mode. Terps get the point, and back to the serve here, Jonna Spawn, and just knocks it wide. And a couple of serve opportunities to build some points here. Now Maryland exceeding the serve errors from Purdue, now 11 in the match. Can Purdue get out of here with a sweep? Can Maryland extend us to 4 at least? Dowler for Russ. Quick reflexes from Colvin to keep it alive, and Hudson can't save it. Point Maryland.
Man, Sam Sayer's really standing out to me right now. She really is just going up and taking big rips. That's what you got to do sometimes. They're down a man. She's got to put a little bit more load on her back and just go do it. And she's doing a great job finding ways to score points for her team.
9 kills for Sayer. 1-point set. Good get in the back for Schnitter. Chacoin with first contact. Hudson, another haymaker.
Something really unique about Taylor Anderson's hands. All setters are different. Every setter looks a little bit different. But these are two very different setters right now. Well, Sid Dowler just rotated out. But if the Badgers are going to come to play anybody, it's those Huskers. So I think tonight will be a really fun match.
And they split their 2 meetings last year. Chacoin on the overpass pounds that down. 4 of the last 6 meetings, by the way, between the Huskers and the Badgers have gone at least 4. So we'll see what kind of theatrics we have coming up. Chacoin with a smile after that put away. Largest lead of the set here for Purdue. At 3. Trying to get done in 3. And that'll help the cause. It finds the floor.
Good find by Lizzie Carr, just getting that ball over, finding, again, the middle of the court. It's where a lot of balls are scored.
Timeout, Terps, 23-19 for Dave Shondell and company. Yeah, we mentioned all of their losses against teams currently ranked in the top 8 in the country. Ranked wins for Purdue at Utah, against Kentucky, and impressively against Minnesota as well. That was the rankings of the teams when they played them, and all 5 of those teams are now residing in the top 8 in the nation.
That's incredible. I mean, that's why you look at Purdue and you look at their record and you're like, how do they have so many losses but are still ranked number 11 in the country? It's because they're putting up fights against teams that are all in the top 8 in the country now at this point. So it's tough to say that they have a tough record, because Purdue is really putting up fights against some of the top teams in the country.
That wild 5-set matchup with Nebraska. It's interesting too. 3 5-setters this year for Purdue. They're 2-1, but in all 3 of those 5th sets, Purdue's hit 400 or better. Impressive to be able to execute in those monster moments. That bodes well the further that you get into the season, and for Purdue, thinking postseason, and for a team that made the regional semifinals last year. Trying to see if they can end this coming up. And now, Point Maryland into the net here for Purdue.
Purdue's middles have both been in the net a couple of times this match, and that's very uncharacteristic for them. They're going really hard, trying really hard to get these blocks. Just a little bit too tight.
Anderson going to Chacoin, push down the line. Schnitter got her feet set going cross court. The timing a little bit off, and shoots it wide. Match point here, Boilermakers.
That's a common error from Schnitter. She tends to hit a little bit wide out of system off a bump set like that.
And that one finds a way down, and Purdue gets it done in 3.